Hey y'all, it's Timidity. I already recorded like 25 minutes of this video, but I'm kind of redrafting it because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to seem too distracted. But to start off, I don't actually hate it when people leave for better, ever. Like, I think that's actually the right thing to do because why would you stay with someone just because you're afraid to be alone? You're just gonna be fucked up and in a bad situation. Like, have you ever watched that Tyler Perry movie where, like, the main character is this, like, lawyer chick who's, like, cute, but, like, a little bit, I don't know, like, homely dressing, but still a very cute girl. And then her husband is so selfish that he, like, they try to act like he's some good, holy, strong, healthy man, but really he forgot about her birthday multiple times, didn't do anything special for her, and then even at some point when she's like, hey baby, I really want to experiment during sex. You could pull my hair if you want, I'm fine with it. Ooh, we should make love in a different way tonight. How about we screw in the kitchen? Oh, just try something new. And then he straight up is like, you're being weird. Stop it. We're gonna go in our fucking bedroom and we're gonna have sex with the lights off, missionary, quietly, on a Wednesday night, as we always do. And then I remember watching that scene when I was young, and I was like, see, that's some fucking bullshit. Like, and then, meanwhile, the actual love interest, also plot twist antagonist of the movie, was this very rich, suave guy who actually consistently showed sexual and intellectual interest in her, appreciated her beauty, made her feel special, was like this big baller ass nigga. Like, I'm talking like the ideal black 50 Shades of Grey, but like not, but without all the fucked up parts type of dude. And it's like the movie actually makes you want to root for them as a couple because the main character's actual husband is so shitty. But then the movie does a plot twist and it's like, oh, plot twist, actually she's a bad person and so is he. And he gives her AIDS. And then she has AIDS forever. She gets AIDS for wanting better for herself. Fuck her. Fuck her and her attempts at communication and for wanting better out of her life. Fuck her, black woman. Yeah, that's why I don't fuck with Tyler Perry movies or Spike Lee movies. A bunch of it is literal trauma to porn. Also, shout out to Jordan Peele because you actually make movies where like women or like I don't know, even if they do have trauma, they still are like well developed characters and have lives and are interesting. But I'm gonna list several examples. So number one, my ex boyfriend Liam from 2 years ago, he was a very like I whip out this story every time I talk about this subject. But he was the type of dude who was getting like lazy with dates. He wasn't a planner. He never took initiative on anything. He was the type of dude where if the usher came up to him at a comedy event and said, "Hello, sir, where would you and your date like to sit?" He would stare at me. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Liam, you could choose anywhere you want. It's fine. I'm not picky. Like I'll let you choose, baby." He would stare at me and then stare at the usher, and then stare at me some more, and then stare at the usher, and then me, and then I had to choose, and I would be like, oh, front row. Let's just choose front row, sure. And then the second we actually sit where I chose, then next thing you know, Liam would be like, oh, I don't like this. We don't have a table. This spot sucks. And I'd be like, oh, maybe you should have pitched in your opinion. And anything, how about you talk to the usher to ask for a seat change? And he'd be refusing. And I'd be like, listen, you aren't going to sit here and complain to me. Choose a seat, like talk to the usher and get a new seat if you want a new seat because I'm not dealing with this. And I don't know, that was like a consistent thing in our relationship and it was kind of tiring for me. And he also stopped putting in effort for dates and stopped being hygienic. He was actually getting to the point where he was mad at me for actually like recoiling away from a kiss. Meanwhile, he would not brush his teeth for like 4 or 5 days. It would be fucking dark yellow with like caramelized onions, or like a got to be glued bottle, and it would be layers upon layers of gunk, and his mouth would taste like cock smegma, and it would be awful. And I remember I leaned in for a kiss. The second he tried to open mouth kiss, I recoiled back on pure instinct because I thought I was getting fucking attacked. That was poison damage. My HP went down. He did not like me doing that, and I was so nice about it. But if anything, I was too nice about it. And then he was acting like I was the fucking problem. As you can imagine, that relationship ended, and then he complained when I started dating the new guy who had pearly white teeth that he consistently put an effort in. Like the new guy, Morgan, he was actually like Liam was the type of guy where he could be gifted lotions and given skin routines, but he would always complain that his face was peeling off nonstop potato chips, but he wouldn't do anything about it, and then it would be awkward. Like if I was under him during sex, it would kind of feel like someone was shaking a Parmesan container on top of me, and it'd be all over my titties and my face. Not so great. And so instead of changing that, he would just like complain but then not change it. complain about his teeth color but not change it, complain about his weed addiction and his scrawny body and not change it. And I decided, you know what, this is not for me. I broke up with him nicely and then moved on. Liam didn't like it, but then suddenly tried to do everything that I wanted only because he realized, oh shit, right, she was the only woman that showed interest in me for over like my entire fucking life. Yeah. And once he actually realized, like, oh, to me, actually, like, she was the only person to ever like me. No one else was reaching for me, and I did, and I fucked it up. And now and then I moved on to Morgan. And Morgan, let's just say when he was good, he definitely made niggas feel insecure because it's like, oh, okay, male model type face, strong jawline, extremely strong muscles, nice and wide built, girthy cock, fat ass, big thick thighs. Like, and it was like he was working on being a healthy communicator for me and taking me out to nice fancy Italian dinners and on little trips and stuff. It was a really nice time. He was getting me little jewelry by surprise just to be sweet. He was actually putting in effort. Morgan was the type of guy where he was like, oh, you make me feel like such a fucking man, baby. And he would do push-ups just as a form of foreplay for me to like show that he wanted to be physically fit for me. Liam was the type of guy where if you talk to him even after a year of dating about like any sort of future with him, he would act like you were the issue and be disgusted with you and say it was way too soon, despite him being in his mid-20s. And then, meanwhile, I dated Morgan, and it took less than half a year for us to actually be talking about, oh yeah, marriage and kids. Ooh, how about the name Alexander? Ooh, I like Alexander, that could be cute. And actually talking about the type of ideal house he had. He became a gardener and got a better job and made more money because he knew I wanted a provider type male. And he actually put in effort to like woo me, bring me flowers, help me out with my apartment, take me on nice dates, and actually be sweet. Was Morgan a flawed individual? Yes, absolutely. That's why I have videos detailing his abuse and his awful, awful shit that he's done. But still, in my head, for the time being, I was like, yeah, this is definitely a glow up because now I have a man who, like, gets erections because of how happy he gets, seeing how happy I get from him doing curl ups with my body. And, like, he actually, like, working out for me, making money for me, making sure he like Morgan was the type of dude to do some American Psycho level skincare treatments because he knew he wanted to look good. Always had pearly whites that he took care of, all that shit, and it made Liam feel inferior. And then suddenly that nigga started trying because, mind you, I was still single. Me and Morgan weren't like monogamous, but that made Liam want to go, oh hey sweetheart, you know what? Let's go on, because then eventually Liam separated me and realized his life was fucking miserable. He was like, right, she was my best friend. I did love her. Like, I fucking adored her. And then he realized that he lost his best friend, his outlet for sex, someone who boosted his ego, someone who looked nice for him, someone who loved to make him smile, cook for him, bake for him, treat him right. And then, like, he lost all of that shit and then was back in the same situation he was before he met me, where he had one single best friend and then a few people on Snapchat he could talk to. Ultimate loneliness, his video games, porn, and his really shitty, fucked up family. And then he realized, yeah, this is not cutting it. I actually want to try better as a man. And then he did. Like, he didn't nail everything, but then he did start going, oh, look, I got peroxide for my teeth. I'm finally flossing. I made a dentist appointment to figure out what's up with that weird smell that's, like, keeps lingering there, and, like, putting in effort and like actually trying to take me out on nicer dates and doing anything he can to prove that he actually was worthy of my love and affection. And that was good, and I feel like that's good, because if you don't put yourself first and put yourself on a pedestal and go, this is what I need and require and deserve, all three things: need, require, deserve, like, and it can't, like, all of that shit, you don't need a man, but you do need a respectful partner who is loving, thoughtful, caring, provider type. Like, you can have a bar in your head and just be like, this is what I would need if I were to give a man a chance. And that's good. Another example, aside from my, I'll circle back to my dating life, of course, but if you have read the comic The Remarried Empress, that's another good example. Because in that story, the plot of it on Webtoon is like this empress, she gets cheated on openly by her king husband, the emperor. And then he brings in some dirty bitch off the street and starts like parading her around, getting her nice shit and putting in an effort with the new bitch, but not his actual wife. And then eventually the wife like realizes, oh shit, he's about to fuck me over big time. So she goes ahead, and because she's kind of like buddy buddy with the emperor of another kingdom, she's like, listen here, I want to stay empress, and my husband is about to divorce me and replace me with his new bitch. And I'm about to be discarded and mocked and treated like trash. So I need you to marry me instead. How about that? And then he's like, why, of course, yeah. And then guess what? Like, while in her old kingdom they were like, oh, this is the queen who can't produce an heir, meanwhile the side chick is gonna have the king's baby, blah blah blah. And where she was being mercilessly mentally abused, emotionally abused, tormented, fucked around, manipulated, and just stressed out on all fronts, she moved on to a new nigga. And now her last nigga, the fucking last king she dated, drinking all the time, losing his mind, damn near schizophrenic, seeing hallucinations and visions, really flipping and freaking the fuck out. And then meanwhile, she flips like she's on living the good life. She's like, I don't have to worry about that old side bitch copying my flow and my style anymore. My new man fucks the shit out of me. He's muscular, he's sweet. He treats me with such love. He gets me gifts that I actually care about and that he knows that I like. He stands up for me. He doesn't throw me under the bus. He's really like, and then guess what? She, not to spoil it or spoiler alert, but frankly, if you read this whole story from top to bottom, you won't even care about the shit I said. It's that good. I could spoil this whole story. In fact, I got spoilers and I still watched and read this whole fucking story. It's so good. Like, she ends up having twins. So the last people were like, oh, she's infertile and she's useless as a queen, but she goes to the rival kingdom and can instantly have twins. Because the nigga was like, hey, I know something happened to you when you were younger. I'm going to give you medicine to make you healthier and fit. I'm going to make sure I'm healthy and fit too and taking care of myself. And we're going to fuck. And it's going to be perfect. And then guess what? Now she has a healthy new life with a new nigga and a new man. Upgraded. And meanwhile, her old fucking love rival, the side bitch, who's now dating her ex, like, they both are suffering like hell and miserable as fuck and all that shit. And and I just find that amusing as fuck. And so, frankly, that's something you have to remember. You can always find better. Like, even then, guess what? When Liam backtracked and started doing some lame ass, sloppy ass, low effort shit again, I fell back. And then when Morgan started his whole sexually abusive, like, trying to get violent, like, really fucked up, emotionally manipulative shit, and the bad outweighed the good for good, that's like, I could tell him, hey Morgan, I know you're on a trip right now, but like, if you could see if they have any like fur coats at those thrift shops, let me know. I'll even send you money so you can get it. And he will go, hey, I know you wanted one of those like fur coats like they had in Casino and Euphoria, but they didn't have that, so instead I got you this dirty fucking Patagonia jacket in your least favorite color from the 80s, because it's the exact same thing, right? And yeah, and he didn't put in any effort for Christmas, plus he tried to rape me. So yeah, let's just say that all went very badly and I broke up with him. But guess what? A few weeks later I met the guy who I'm now seeing, who has been perfect. Who has so far actually been putting in an effort to show that he's trustworthy and lovable. He's been buying me gifts. He even recently got me a fuck ton of groceries as an apology gift for something he did. And he bought me like some really cute belly dancing clothes because he knows I'm experimenting with my style. And he met me when I dressed more modestly in the winter, but he also was like, you know what, but if you want to dress more like boho, chic, even a little bit more like out there than you usually do, then I'm okay with that, because frankly, I just want to see you happy, and I'm gonna be happy with whatever Tamia I get, as long as I have you, Tamia, because you're gorgeous, beautiful, and wonderful. And he praises me and he prioritizes me. He doesn't let people disrespect me. He stands his fucking ground about me. And he's strong and he's fit. Like, he will hit me up as soon every day that he wakes up at 4 a.m. on some, hey, I'm going to the gym, get nice and fit for you, and I'm seeing progress. He shows off how strong his muscles are. Like, he tries his best to make love to me in the exact way that I want. He always, like, he's really sweet and wonderful. And that's what you deserve. So if you're watching this video, I just want to make it clear, regardless of your gender, you should be dating people that are good for you. Because I remember this ex I had from high school, this abusive ass motherfucker, he was raging like shit, knowing that I was moving on. Because he was still like, damn, like, I can't believe that she doesn't want to have like a fourth year in a row of me being emotionally abusive and manipulative and toxic and selfish and physically abusive and sexually abusive. I can't believe she doesn't want more revenge porn and like hatred and bullying. I hate that she just gave up on us. He was trying to rally teachers to get me back together with him because he could not cope with me not dating him. Do you know how fucked up that is, to have teachers being like, oh, hey, I know I told you to just ignore all the obviously bad shit he was doing for my own comfort because I didn't want to bother with it and I prioritized men over girls. But Can't you just forgive Zachary? Why don't you talk to him again and tell you that you forgive him, even though he didn't show he's sorry whatsoever and has just been sulking about how he wants you back and wants to use you for sexual access again? I just was like, fuck no, Gamora, you told me to just stay the fuck away from that nigga and to just focus on myself and not focus when he's doing anything he can to make every living moment of my high school life a hell. So yeah, fuck you. And I just made it clear. And then next thing you know, he'd be trying to text me on Kick. But then, like, I'd be laughing at my phone and not opening his message. So then he'd realize, shit, she's messaging another nigga and she's either laughing at messages I'm sending her or laughing at texts that another man is sending her. And I remember at some point once, like, later in the year, I was crying at the desktop over this fucked up guy I dated. And crying. And then I remembered that Zachary straight up walked past me to his friend like, haha, see, she's still crying about me, bro, how pathetic. And I immediately started laughing, and he heard that and he felt immediately depressed because, like, and I'm kind of grateful his stupid ass did that, because it took me from like, oh, boo-hoo, me and Maddie broke up with me in a traumatizing way, to, oh, right, at least I'm not crying about that bitch ass nigga anymore. I'm crying about some new dick now, baby. Like, really, I thought I could not find anyone better than Zachary, but then once I realized, oh wait, there's actually funny, interesting dudes out there who also happen to be sweet and have souls and are interesting, and even if they fuck me over, it's better than being with the last nigger who fucked me over. Do not believe in better the devil you know. Fuck you. My eyes look nice right now. Do not believe in better the devil you know. Believe in better being out there. Really. I guess another example I can use, my ex-best friend, I had to leave her behind because sadly she kept staying with this nigga who kept giving her STDs and slut-shaming her and saying that she couldn't find anybody else. And then even when they broke up after, like, he got caught on some pedophilic shit with a high schooler, she would still refuse to get on the apps, refuse to meet other people, refuse this, refuse that, and was staying with that nigga. And like, or not, she was like refusing to see anyone else even if she was attracted to them because she had low self-esteem. And I kept telling her, listen, 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 because of you, my lovely little home slice, I got to leave Liam and meet Morgan. And even when Morgan's fucking up, I still know that there's better out there to meet. And because of you, I left Morgan and went on dates with other people for Italian food and this and that. You can have the same thing. She'd be like, no, no, no. And then guess what? A few weeks went by, and then she was like, girl, I just had the best double penetration sex ever. I was like, ooh, girl, with who? And then she just waited hella long, but then eventually texted me back, girl, you know with who? And I was like, oh, so you mean to tell me the dude that was fucking that teenager who you were crying about and traumatized about and who laughed in you and her face when you tried to confront him, you're back with him? And I think that person, like, if it was like any, I have a history with abusive relationships, I understand. But I think once it got to the whole, oh, but he was with a teenager and you're still just, you could have sex with anybody else at that point. Anybody else as a rebound, and you're just like, I'm gonna let this dude have the satisfaction. Really? That depressed me. But at the same time, I know I'm a hypocrite and I have easily some stories I can rip out and some people I need to apologize to. I'm sorry. I know how it is to be desperate in love with low self-esteem or low hope for your future. That's why you have to bank on yourself. Because if you don't bank on yourself, that's how you will stay in abusive relationships, and even relationships that aren't abusive but just not bad, because you yourself will go, oh, sure, he doesn't have good hygiene, and sure, he doesn't want to take me on dates, and sure, he doesn't remember my birthday or do this or do that, but I mean, it's not like he hits me. He only, like, like slut shamed me when his brother got caught staring at my tits, and like, he doesn't stand up for me, but like, he's not evil. And then, like, that's what got me to stay with Liam for like 3 to 6 more months when I knew damn well we needed to break up. And I had very vicious thoughts about him. And then eventually, once we did break up, I remember, like, I had nonstop panic attacks and couldn't eat and was trying to throw up anything I didn't eat. Like, and I just eventually, I was like, you know what? If I'm really this stressed out over if I want to break up with a nigga or not, and if I'm afraid to break up with him because I think he might do something bad to me or hurt me, or if I'm this traumatized off of just the potential of leaving a person, then that's probably a sign that I should just leave the person anyway. Because if staying with them just makes me nonstop think about how I should break up with them, and then also puts me in a spiral panic, I should probably just leave them. And then guess what? The second I just texted him and said, "Yeah, we need to break up. We can call and talk about this, but I'm over it." Like, I felt like the world was off my shoulder. I didn't have to worry about his fuck ass family, about Marin County. I didn't have to worry about his fucked up mom, or I didn't have to worry about his fucked up complex opinions on the age of consent or races or like anything. I just was like, I am free to embrace myself. I can wear slutty clothing and date, like, cuz I was getting hella offers from like cute rich guys at my job to date them and shit. And I was just like, wow, I have all this fucking potential and all this cool shit that I stopped doing because I got lost in that relationship. So I guess by the end of the story, I'm just saying, don't lose yourself in a relationship. Don't forfeit orgasms or celebrations or anything. And I make that clear too. Like, I have women asking me for dating advice because guess what? When it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, sure, it's bad, but I still come out the other side okay. I don't always, like, I still manage to survive. Sometimes we all have low moments, we all have mistakes to make. But still, for the most part, people have been like, wow, to me, how did you get a guy to do this for you? And I just made it clear, like, that's what I told him I was into. Dudes have tried shit with me. Like, dudes have tried the whole, oh, you like jewelry? Well, I'm not really into jewelry much. I don't know. I just think it's vain and this and that. I just be like, yeah, I can't picture you with much jewelry on, Jared. That's okay. I love jewelry because it's cute and sparkly and means a lot to me. And then that would set the tone of, I don't care if you like jewelry or not, but I expect jewelry as gifts and signs of affection and love and romance. And I would make it clear, like, just because they aren't interested doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop having my passion for jewelry and jewelry making. Just because a dude isn't interested in cosplay or the type of music I'm into or the style I'm into doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. And funny enough, that's also why I believe in like single until married, and that's why I date the way I do. Because if I were just monogamous to these dudes, I would feel trapped and afraid to leave. And it's like, instead of feeling afraid to leave, I'd rather just be permanently single, see who I want, be who I want, and enjoy who I want. And if they don't like it, that's cool because we own a thing and they have freedom to see who they want as well. And if I'm not the person they want, then they're free to find someone who they deem is better, and I'm free to find someone I deem is better as well. So just don't lose yourself, love yourself, set high standards and boundaries, and find people who are compatible with you. Don't settle for any one of the male motherfucker who won't make you happy. Go for people who make you happy and are actually putting in the effort and showing every day how much you mean to them. God bless. Peace out.